I think barangay budgeting is also, you know, it's an important topic. Madali lang din. I'll just get water dyan, ha? Wait lang. Naubusan ako ng kan. Thank you, Jen. So, okay, maybe you can go to the next slide. So this was the question. Anong number na yun kagabi? So what I did was so this came from DBM. It's a DBM document that we converted to Canva. So in case you want to transfer to the ILG in the future, then yeah, it's one of the mandate of the ILG DBM, to assist the barangays as the smallest political unit to engage in financial planning, and we call this barangay budgeting. So we have the barangay budget and barangay budget process. So you can see it's a critical role beyond being a mere financial plan, because it serves as a strategic tool for barangay officials to manage their own development and growth of the community effectively. So you can see policy, okay, policy and or planning and policy adoption. So the budget helps set priorities and allocate resources to align with the barangay's development goals. And you can see all those things there. Program and project implementation, financial control, management, information. Sige nga dyan, if you can get that quickly to the next page. Sige lang. So these are the activities within the cycle, the budget process cycle. So preparation and then legislation or authorization. So let's try to be familiarized that budget legislation is at the barangay level is the one that we call authorization. Then there's budget review, then budget execution, and budget accountability. Okay, next. Next, Jen. Next slide. Also this budget cycle, yeah, we got this from the DBM website. It says that It's a systematic process designed to ensure effective financial management and accountability at the local level. So from preparations, as I mentioned earlier, planning, okay, approval, execution, monitoring of the barangay's financial resources. So, and then we provided also the breakdown in the succeeding slides. Jen. So medyo mahaba ito, but anyway, that's not our main goal here is to just clarify on the questions in the 30 item mock questions yesterday. So sige, let's get that quickly. We can just provide them the slides anyway. Income. Okay, sige lang. Keep going hanggang sa makarating tayo doon sa no, hindi. Linger a little doon. So, it is the barangay treasurer, okay, is responsible for determining the estimated income to be used as a source of fund in the budget. And then, sige, keep going. Sorry. Yung role niya is determination, okay, of the estimated income. Then, next slide. So there's also a timeline that the barangay treasurer should submit to the punong barangay on or before September 15. So there are some timeline that should be noted on or before September 15 of each year. Okay, the detailed statements of income and expenditures. This will be a basis for the preparation of the budget for the next fiscal year. Sige, Jen. Yeah, it's not readable. We're supposed to produce another like that, but hindi kinaya ng time. So, okay, we can proceed to the next one. Next slide anyway. So what forms part of the beginning balance? Kahit hindi naman barangay budgeting, so we know the savings at the end of the current year forms part of the beginning balance for the budget year. So that would be the following year, right? So, sige, keep going, Jen. We'll just give them this one. And then there are some legal basis here, the specific provisions. Is there any penalty for the punong barangay who fails to prepare and submit the annual barangay budget on time? So pag na late, there are two legal basis. One is the local government code, is section 318, and then DBM COA joint circular number 92-3. So when the punong barangay fails to submit on or before October 16 of the current year, so there are penalties. It is criminal and administrative penalties. Next. Yeah, in the annual budget, so there are four, okay? There are four obligations, which is 20% development fund of the total era, and then the SK 10%. I think this is easy, 20, 10, and then also appropriations for unforeseen expenditures arising from the yung sa calamity fund. So 20, 10, 5. I think may natanong mga questions na ganito in previous exams. And the last one is provision for the delivery of basic services, which is section 17 of the code. Okay, 20, 10, 5, and then the basic services. Next one. These are mandatory. Then yeah, the barangay can appropriate not more than 55. So that's the cap for the total annual income actually realized during the next preceding fiscal year. So this is the formula. So this is how it should look like. Like for example, 2025. So yeah, it's just 55%. And then ima-minus mo yung ano yung na-appropriate, and then the excess would be for the personal services of a barangay. I mean, okay, 300, for example, 55% of 300,000. So yun lang yung pwede. Okay, that's the cap. So, sandali lang dyan sa total PS appropriations. So you can deduct the appropriation for PS. So lang, okay, to get the excess. Okay. Next, Jen. Okay, so since this is a question and answer, I think I don't need to discuss further kasi sinasabi naman dito na excess over the 55% cap in personal services may be waived if caused by the implementation of, so there's a legal basis for that, which is EO number 332, whereby increases in honoraria of barangay officials are allowed as continued implementation of the salary standardization law. So that's the EO 332. Next. Makita. So it also says here that yeah, collections or monies which are held in trust. So there are examples: performance bonds, deposits, payments under protest, and funds for specific activities contributed by outside sources cannot be included in the barangay budget. Baka tanungin din ito. So, okay. Next. This is about supplemental budget. Of course, it's still covered by, it should be enacted, okay? Through enactment of an ordinance or law that authorizes the changes in the annual appropriation, ordinance or law. But these are the three circumstances whereby a supplemental budget could be done. When funds are actually available, and then when new revenue sources can support additional budgetary requirements and in times of calamities. Okay. Jen, next. Just click it. So it says it's not, you cannot pass a supplemental budget to replace the annual barangay budget. So it's pursuant to section 323 of the code. Next. Yeah, I think we can go to, sige nga, next slide. Yung discretionary fund pala. No. Stay there. Doon sa last, yeah, so there's up to 2% lang yung pwede for the discretionary fund of barangay by the barangay captain or the punong barangay. And then also if there are questions on contributions, if requested by the liga ng mga barangay, then it is also allowed because there are some appropriations on grants donations under MOOE. So also prior year unpaid contributions can also be considered. Next. So nandito na tayo. So budget authorization. So who authorizes the barangay budget? It is the sangguniang barangay. Okay, the legislative body. So it's like other councils like the Sangguniang Bayan, Sangguniang Panlungsod. So it is it's the barangay, Sangguniang Barangay that authorizes the barangay budget. Okay, and then how does the Sangguniang Barangay authorize the barangay budget? So it has to pass, the Sangguniang Barangay passes the barangay budget through the enactment of an appropriation ordinance, which shall be approved or ratified by the majority of the Sangguniang Barangay. But that is the appropriation ordinance. Okay, can we move? So I think we had discussions on appropriation ordinance, which is the legislative instrument authorizing the budget. Yeah, it becomes effective, it says here. So there, I included also a question on when is the effectivity of an appropriation ordinance? Only upon its approval by the majority of the Sangguniang Barangay and signed by the punong barangay. So baka kasi tanungin din if it needs the signature of, or it needs, if it needs the signature of the punong barangay on the date fixed in the ordinance. Next. So there's also a question, what happens if the Sangguniang Barangay fails to enact an appropriation ordinance? So it's deemed reenacted and shall remain in force and effect until the ordinance authorizing the proposed appropriations is passed by the Sangguniang Barangay. So it will still continue, but there are some limitations for the reenactment, such as honoraria and salaries or wages of barangay officials and employees respectively. So, because meron tayong mga tanod, ganun, and other barangay health worker din, binibigyan din ng honoraria or salary or wages. Then, essential operating expenses authorized in the supplemental budgets for the preceding year shall be deemed reenacted. So next. So can the Sangguniang Barangay reduce the appropriations in the budget during the authorization phase? Yes. So it is possible. And next, reduce and then increase as the question on increasing the appropriations in the budget during authorization. So it's a no, except when mandatory and statutory obligations have not been provided for in the budget. So in which case the increase may cover the deficiency, provided that, okay, I underlined that the total appropriation does not exceed the total estimated income reflected in the budget proposed by the punong barangay. Next. Does an appropriation ordinance need the approval of the punong barangay? So I think that came up earlier also. Yes. Should be approved. So because he has to sign that. And does the punong barangay vote on the proposed budget? Normally, isn't it? Even in normal deliberations, if you're chairing, if you're the one chairing it, you cannot vote unless just in case of a tie that you can participate or you can vote. Next. Also, you might encounter questions on the veto power. Yeah, it's a no because the punong barangay is also the presiding officer. So, but there are some remedies, isn't it, that you can influence or you can speak or you can convince the members of the Sangguniang Barangay. Okay, so if you need to veto that, so if you want to veto that, you can always speak to the members. So next. Okay, barangay budget. So we are now on that review. This was the question. Okay. The Sangguniang Barangay cannot review its own work and cannot approve its own work. So it has to be at the higher level. So uh the barangay, the barangay budget is submitted for review because of the following: that budgetary requirements and limitations provided in the LG code are complied with. So there must be check and balance, isn't it? So the budget does not exceed the estimated receipts and or income of the barangay. So these are the reasons. And that's why it always speak about Sangguniang Bayan or Sangguniang Panlungsod through the municipal or the city budget officer. So because it has to be hindi lang yung mismong appropriation ordinance but the budget itself. And the items of appropriations, it says in the third bullet, the items of appropriations are not more than those provided by existing laws. So it has to be like that. So ito yung question talaga, the review. Next. When is the barangay budget submitted for review? The appropriation ordinance authorizing the annual or supplemental budget is submitted for review within 10 days after its enactment. So who enacted it? It was the Sangguniang Barangay. So within the 10-day period, it needs to be reviewed. So who is reviewing this barangay budget or the appropriation ordinance okay? It is the Sangguniang Panlungsod. So I stand corrected doon sa nasulat ni Jen doon sa question. Panlalawigan yun. Pero Sangguniang Panlungsod, so it follows the same principle. Sangguniang Panlungsod, bayan, through the city or municipal budget officer reviews the barangay budget. It cannot be the Sangguniang barangay itself that reviews their budget. If you can call it as an initial review, so it's also appropriate to call that. But the official review should be the Sangguniang Panlungsod or bayan. But also, there are some cases that the city or municipal mayor may also review the barangay budgets through the city municipal budget officer. Why indirectly? Because it's the review task is lodged on the Sangguniang, on the higher hierarchy, okay, of Sangguniang and not the Sangguniang Barangay. But always the city or the municipal budget officer is always there to do the task for the legislative council and the local chief executive. Okay, next. So I think I already answered the question yesterday. And also, if you can note that the review process should be within 60 days upon receipt of the appropriation ordinance authorizing the barangay budget by the Sangguniang Panlungsod through the budget officer. Okay, 60 days. Next. So if it has not been acted upon by the Sangguniang concerned. So it is deemed, the budget is deemed in full force and effect if it failed to review that within the 60-day period. So it was deemed reviewed or approved. Next. So there are also some cases whereby the budget shall be returned to the punong barangay for adjustments and revisions. So the barangay treasurer who has custody of the funds shall not make, so parang if freeze mo yun, you cannot disburse, okay, because it was declared inoperative or inoperative budget. So the barangay operates then on a reenacted budget or the budget of the previous year until the proposed budget meets the approval of the Sangguniang Panlungsod Sodarbayan to ensure the continuity of its projects and activities. So you need to return again. Okay, once you're done, once the Sangguniang Barangay once they're done at their level. Okay, until it gets its approval from the Sangguniang Panlungsod or Bayan. Next. I think next slide. So it may be, I'm not sure, but reenacted budget could be very uncomfortable for the barangays because they can continue, but these are the disadvantages that they cannot, they cannot undertake new projects, and there could be no positions to be filled up, no new equipments can be acquired, and then it also says non-recurring activities, no matter how vital, cannot be undertaken, and no increase in honoraria and other benefits. So these are the result, or these are the repercussion of a reenacted budget. Next. There are also cases whereby yeah, there could be conflict in the review of its budget by the concerned Sanggunian. So there are two remedies here to appeal, okay? To appeal to the city or municipal legal officer who is assigned to review and submit recommendations on approved ordinances and executive orders issued by the city or municipal components. Also, yeah, the barangay can seek technical assistance okay, through its appropriate regional office. But of course, at the local level, yeah, there could be some remedies already, especially that appeal remedy could be done. Okay, next. So, punong barangay responsible for the execution of the barangay budget, and then so so you can see already this one, the responsibilities, okay, of the barangay officials in implementing the barangay budget. Okay. Next gen, they can read that. I'm just looking at the other. So in the execution, the barangay prepares simple cash program for the quarter, and then they disburse funds per cash program. Also the ROA means request for obligation and allotment. Obligation of allotment of allotment. And then disbursement vouchers based on the approved ROA, and then issuance of checks. Sige, Jen. I think madami pa yan, pero I think I can end here because it's no longer our, doon lang sa review talaga that the general principle there is you cannot review your own work. So that was my point yesterday. You cannot just approve your own work. It needs to be a higher hierarchy of legislative council that reviews and approves, okay, the barangay budget. So I can provide this. Madami pa itong kan. Jen, if you can keep running that, let's see ano pa yung content na ginawa natin. Sige lang. Keep running it. So makikita nyo lahat dyan. I think it is an interesting material. So we're sure of all those things that have been written here because we got this from DBM site, DBM website. Okay. Next. Sige. So wala na ba? So if you can okay, so I think we can end it here. Just to clarify, yesterday, so the other question was that question by similar because in case lang they would ask the same question and then the closest answer that you can get, yun yung i-answer ninyo. Like if it is asking about the mandatory or something, na yun lang yung nakikita ninyo. So the closest, you can report it to your proctor na, okay, we don't find any answer, and then tatawag. If they can, if they can address that right away by the proctor, and then, wag muna kayong mag-answer, leave blank ninyo. But you need to wait. Then pag wala talaga, pag sasabihin ni proctor na the question and the choices are in order, then you need to decide that the closest answer that you can get. You cannot argue with yourself, right? Na mali, wala naman talaga. You need to make a quick answer kasi sabi naman nila in order. So that happens. That happened many times na kung ano na yung sabi nila hindi naman yun yung hindi naman mandatory pa, but that's the closest answer that you can get. You need to answer when not addressed properly by the proctor. Okay ba tayo doon? So you cannot leave that blank kasi wala kayong chance. So ibig sabihin 0% chance kayo doon because you left it blank. While kapag mag-answer ka, at least may chance, di ba? Okay. Especially pag outdated yung question, you need to depend on the choices. Ano yung mga pinrovide doon? So you need to decide based on an outdated question and not look for something else. Okay? So I think okay, and tomorrow so if you could excuse me, I'll deliver the examination tomorrow on the RA 10587 at 8:30, but not tonight. I just have to clarify some of those questions, so then yeah, you will have more peace of mind. Okay, and then another question on the Constitution. Yes, it's Constitution kasi now na-delete yata, Jen, na-delete yata yung parang introduction on RA 7160, and then it was followed by a question. So it's it's correct. Those are articles within the Constitution, but pero may prior na parang meron siyang introduction on RA 7160, but the answer is Article 10, not the RA 7160 kasi nawala yan dyan I've been looking for, medyo mahaba yung question pero parang hindi yata natin na-capture. So anyway, but still answers Article 10 of not RA 7160 but Constitution, pero meron pang prior but anyway, Jen, you can also find the question and then post it on your GC. Okay, so if you could open your camera para for the photo documentation so that tomorrow